That. Bam. Done. Go live. We can do it. We got it all under lock. Testing audio. Bam. Woo! There we go. Good morning, sons. How you guys doing today? I have hat hair. So, we're just going to deal with it. We're going to deal with it. I was riding my motorcycle this morning for all the errands I needed to run. So it is what it is. If you guys ride, Texas is the place to be. It's like 70 degrees out in January. It's amazing. Welcome to the Crypto Mining Morning Show, Crypto Mining Noon Show. Fair enough. I had doctor's appointments this morning, but we aren't going to skip a beat. I do have to end a little earlier than normal today, though, so we're only going to be going for about 45 minutes. That's okay, because we really only have two topics that we're going to be discussing today. One is Crypto.com's hack that happened, and its relation to how it's being laundered, and how that's probably going to be bad for the principled crypto investors, in my humble opinion, due to the way it's being laundered and the attack vectors that are being exposed there. We're also going to be talking about Intel possibly unveiling a Bitcoin ASIC miner as well, which is pretty incredible. So not only do we have Jack Dorsey stateside working on that, but we have Intel as well working on that. Much needed competition in the market, in my humble opinion, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. So hopefully, we'll get more information on what's going on for release dates and so on. I don't think I have any of that right now. Then we're going to be taking a look at the mining market. It's pretty rough. It's not the lowest it's ever been, but it's pretty close to the lowest it's ever been. And we'll talk about some shifts that I'm looking at and so on. And we'll get some ideas from y'all. Make sure you guys also go ahead and hit that like button, the subscribe button, all that goodness. And before we get into it today, as always, we're going to run an ad. Today, brought to you by myself. Today's sponsor is myself. To support the channel, click the join button below the video and you will get access to our privately hosted Rocket Chat. Selecting the $1.99 option will get you access, and after that you need to head over to the membership tab, scroll down, and expand out your membership perks. Find the section for connecting on social media, and in that section there will be a secret registration URL to join Rocket Chat, where you can sign up to enjoy talking with other cryptocurrency enthusiasts and miners without spammers, scammers, or bots. Boom! So hopefully it's a little guide on how to access the Rocket Chat. Obviously, we have reasoning behind it. Thanks everybody that's joined. If you guys have trouble accessing the registration URL, you can always email inquiry@sonofatech.com, which can be found on the About tab. Let's go ahead and hop into Intel unveiling the ultra-low voltage Bitcoin mining ASIC. Brought to us by CoinDesk. We have a tech article here. It was basically talked about yesterday at 10 a.m. So while we were doing the live stream yesterday, this article came out. The move would bring the chip maker into the same market with such companies as Bitmain and MicroBT. Intel, one of the world's largest chip makers, is likely to unveil a specialized crypto mining chip at the International Solid State Circuits Conference, ISSCC, in February, according to the conference's agenda. One of Intel's highlighted chip releases at the conference is entitled Bonanza Mine, an ultra-low voltage, energy-efficient Bitcoin mining ASIC. The session is scheduled for February 23rd. This brings the company into direct competition with the likes of Bitmain and MicroBT in the market for Bitcoin mining ASICs, or application-specific integrated circuits, for the first time. Crypto mining has in the past driven up demand and prices for graphics processing units, including Intel's, so much so that it attracted the ire of gamers. Unlike its competitor Nvidia, Intel has said it doesn't plan to add Ether mining limits to its graphics cards. Now, we do have, of course, Intel basically hopping into multiple markets. GPUs is one of them. We have been talking about their graphics processing units and their launches here in the past. It should be interesting to see how they perform with mining in particular. The interesting part is that most of their GPUs are sub 50 watt with potentially pretty good Ethereum mining performance per watt if we take a look, of course, at their memory bandwidth, total bandwidth, and so on, at least per watt, but you're going to have to buy a ton of them. Looks like it might be the same strategy that they're going to be using for their ASIC miners as well, as I'm not sure that they'll compete on the top end with Bitmain with the high-powered 100 terahash plus, especially if they're touting already that it's going to be low energy. And this is kind of one of those weird things within the mining market where you can get better performance per watt on basically cheaper cards, but you end up needing a whole bunch more of those GPUs, which is going to drive up your cost as far as things like motherboards, mining frames, so on and so forth. So a lot of people will try to go density as opposed to pure performance per watt. And that could be the same story if we're taking a look at their Bitcoin mining ASICs. Now, like I said at the beginning of the show, the interesting part here is that we have multiple players entering into the application-specific integrated circuit market. And I think what this means in general, though, is that even though we're kind of getting into this bear market realm, we are seeing a push for more mining hardware from multiple companies and more competition. And because it is aimed at Bitcoin, it makes it even more interesting because a lot of the GPU mining and the CPU mining is trying to be phased out by proof of stake. However, as we know it, of course, Bitcoin doesn't look like it would ever move to proof of stake and would basically remain proof of work to secure the network. I think that this attests to the success of Bitcoin in general, because most of the other cryptos, it's kind of looked at poorly if they remain proof of work right now. And there's just no question surrounding Bitcoin and remaining proof of work. What does this mean from a miner's perspective? And to the chagrin of GPU miners, it does mean that your shift, at least from the perspective of longevity, would be into ASICs. And I'm sitting here still as a GPU miner primarily, a little turned off by it, of course, because I prefer the GPU mining because you have accessibility to the general consumer of GPUs. That being said, if we do have more competition within the ASIC mining market, and these are more accessible to the general public, then that could be a positive, especially for the network and decentralization. And as you guys know, we have talked about in the past why Bitcoin kind of at this point is the only cryptocurrency that is remaining as close to the original principles of cryptocurrency as seen by most of the industry, at least myself and people that are worried about things like financial freedom, the removal of government and bank control, etc. While we do see, of course, the ability for manipulation within the market as it sits, it's almost like the Trojan horse, right? Where the very thing that is going to help hopefully redistribute wealth, I guess, at the end of the day, and provide financial freedom for the public is the very thing that is most profitable for institutions to invest in. This really is good news across the board, as far as competition goes, as far as where the industry is seeing Bitcoin headed to, as far as remaining proof of work, etc. And so it's important to go ahead and give it coverage. If you guys have any more questions about it or thoughts or comments, you can always put it in the comment section below or within the live chat. So let's go ahead and talk about yesterday. We talked about it a little bit. Crypto.com had shut off basically moving Ethereum outside of their platform. Actually, all cryptocurrency, they reset their two-factor authentication as well. It took me a little bit to get my two-factor authentication back up. I don't know about y'all, but the The app was pretty buggy. Luckily, I didn't have a lot in there. We're going to cover the article. Then we're going to cover, of course, once again, the importance of controlling your keys, because not your keys, not your crypto. And of course, the part that Crypto.com plays. As you guys know, Crypto.com is a sponsor of the channel. And there's a very specific reason that they are, and I'll kind of talk about that as well. So this is once again coming from CoinDesk. Crypto.com stolen Ether being laundered via Tornado Cash. The Ethereum mixer is being used to obscure destinations of Ethereum pilfered from the crypto exchange. The $15 million in Ether, 4,600 ETH, stolen from Singapore-based Crypto.com is currently being laundered via Tornado Cash, an Ethereum mixer, according to on-chain data. Tornado Cash is an ETH mixer protocol that promises to improve transaction privacy by obscuring the on-chain link between the source and recipient of Ether. The protocol launched in early 2020. On-chain data first spotted by security consultant Peck Shield suggests that the 4,600 Ether is being sent through the mixer in batches of 100 Ether. While some say that the mixer protocols or cryptocurrency tumblers are used to protect the privacy of activists or other politically exposed individuals, they are often used to launder proceeds of organized crime. In a previous statement to CoinDesk, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, said the mixers like Tornado Cash may fall under the definition of a money transmitter and therefore have obligations set by the Bank Secrecy Act, BSA. Law enforcement has previously shut down other mixers such as Best Mixer, which was raided by European Union authorities in 2019, and Helix, which was shut down by the FBI in 2021 for laundering darknet funds. Tornado Cash co-founder Roman Storm previously told CoinDesk in an interview that the protocols work with regulators to quell their fears. Version 2 of Tornado Cash includes a cryptographic note in the transaction history of Ether sent through its pipes that can be used to determine fund provenance. Quote, "We are in a little bit of a different situation than other mixer wallets. I think for us, it's very important to become compliant," Storm previously told CoinDesk. "We do what we feel is right." Tornado Cash's Torn token is up almost 9% during the Asian trading day to $33.31, according to CoinGecko. So, moral of the story, if you are aware of a hack going on, invest in mixer tokens. That's a joke. That's a joke. This is not financial advice. All right? I got to take my motorcycle boots off. So, we have a lot of things going on here. First of all, we have the hack of Crypto.com that we can go over more. In general, not your keys, not your crypto. Centralized exchanges should be used for liquidation of your cryptocurrency into a fiat asset to pay for things like power costs, rent, etc., or liquidating to pay whatever other needs or wants you may have in the case that you can't purchase it with cryptocurrency directly. A centralized exchange should never be used to store your crypto, especially crypto you plan on holding for long term. This is very important to basically adhere to, because in the case that you have something like a hack or regulation that goes into place that shuts down any sort of moving of your cryptocurrency outside of the exchange, well, basically you can count that cryptocurrency as lost forever. This was much more adhered to early on in cryptocurrency because hacks were so prevalent and a lot of the companies didn't have the security in place to protect them. So I guess the old crypto boomers at this point already know this and are familiar kind of with these concepts. A lot of new people are purchasing, of course, cryptocurrency through centralized exchanges and then holding their cryptocurrency there. In addition to that, we also have exchanges that are popping up that are tied to traditional stock trading platforms that you can purchase crypto in, but you cannot send that cryptocurrency out or basically transfer any cryptocurrency into the app, making it basically completely pointless to use those platforms for trading. Things like Robinhood would be an example here. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about mixers, privacy, that sort of thing. Ever since the inception of the internet early on, there has been a concern with privacy and security on the individual level. The individual's right to privacy is paramount in cryptocurrency, within cryptocurrency in general, and within cryptography in general. The point of it was to essentially enable individuals to go ahead and keep their data private and autonomous and detached, basically giving you the freedoms and all of that as a human, some people would say that is your right, your God-given right, however you want to look at it. These are concepts that have been kicked around since the 90s, early 90s. And ever since the early 90s, the federal government, along with, of course, any powers to be, multiple federal governments have been against this idea. Typically, it resulted in lots of raids of even comic book stores for books and role-playing strategy games such as GURPS for Steve Jackson Games in Austin, Texas. And that is kind of the start of the history of basically individuals trying to maintain their privacy while also being attacked by the federal government. And this can get a little tricky, because, of course, the main attack is going to be saying, of course, crimes are being committed through these technologies, and therefore we should basically allow this to be regulated. And it depends on how you look at it and what you believe as far as your importance to your individual rights versus the safety of the public. And I'll leave that up to you. What I'm trying to do is give you a little bit of a history lesson on how this is shaped out. Now, as it ends up being here in 2022, as opposed to 94 or 95, most, if not all, of the privacy on the internet has been completely stripped. On top of that, most of the rights have begun to be stripped more and more as we get further and further into the development of different technologies, to the point to where speech is limited. Now, whether or not you agree with said speech is, a different topic in general, but just the idea of moving from, of course, removal of your privacy into removal of your speech is kind of the path to which the powers that be will basically manipulate any said story to influence some sort of regulation over it. Now, as far as my personal opinion goes, I would say, of course, that I understand that crimes being committed need to be stopped, and there needs to be a way to manage this and figure it out. That being said, I don't think that we should sacrifice our privacy to do so. And this has been going on in crypto for a long time, because originally, at the very beginning of cryptocurrency, there was a huge push for privacy cryptocurrencies. One of them being, of course, Monero, or the most popular one. And really in the early boom of ICOs and all of that sort of thing in 2016, it was really, really popular to release a privacy-focused cryptocurrency. Unfortunately, really, what we've seen as far as the shift within crypto in general has moved completely away from privacy and security and moved into, of course, collectible kitty cats. And so that focus shift has really kind of lost sight of what cryptocurrency was created to do. We could say the same for like email encryption and so on as well. When we start talking about mixers, etc., of course, and their potential uses, of course, they will have potential uses for crimes. Does that mean that we give up the security and privacy as an individual so that the federal government can pursue this and so on? once again, I'm going to go ahead and go with the big brain concept here of, well, if you were controlling your own crypto keys, then that is your own personal responsibility. And this really wouldn't affect you on an individual level. That's kind of where I end it here. Let's go ahead and talk about the cryptocurrency mining profitability for the week. It's not good, or for the day. Here is my flex pool. We are sitting at 4.48 gigahash current effective with the 24-hour effective of 4.58. I am currently down a little bit. This is primarily due to those 3090s getting too hot. As you guys saw, we had put 1 gigahash on like 9 GPUs on one rig. I'll be headed out there to hang them out separately and get a little bit more airflow. It did warm up, of course, as I talked about today, because we were able to ride motorcycles. And as a result, I am down on average across those 20 megahash a second or so on the 3090s. And so my hash rate is down due to that. That's resulting in an estimated daily earnings of $214 US, which is going to be 0.0681 ETH. So even at that little bit of a drop for the excuse on the cards not working as hard, unfortunately, of course, we are down in total ETH being earned regardless. And we can see that within what to mine, right? So if we calculate out what to mine with the RTX 3090, as you guys can see, let's get this Zel hash correct at 110 watt or 110 solutions a second. But Ethereum's at $4.60 a day. After 10 cents a kilowatt hour, we are under $5 a day. Cortex at $2.89 a day after power cost. This is one that, of course, has resurfaced here in the past 24 hours for profitability, as they had a surge in price, which is quite interesting. Equilibria still sitting at the top for Crypto Night GPU. And yes, we have added Crypto Night GPU into our testing suite, and I will be covering it on the Sapphire X060 card that we had in for testing. Flux is all the way down below that at $2.64 a day after power. Now, of course, we do have the Flux killer, the Flux machine, the RTX 2080 Ti, which has been more profitable on Flux here pretty much for the past little while, and unfortunately it no longer is, because Flux has had a significant increase in difficulty, and that's just the nature of the beast when you know, crypto YouTubers like myself make videos about it and tell people that it's making more money, and then they completely destroy the mining profitability. And that's just how it works. How are we going to make this work when ETH goes 2.0? I have yet to figure it out. You guys got ideas? Go ahead and shoot them at me. Let me know in the comment section, or of course within the live stream over here, and we'll go from there. All right. So Swap, or Cortex, is in second place, at $2.13 a day after power, coming in pretty close to Ethereum. Swap is going to be $1.93. We have Equilibria down here at $1.79. Flux at $1.75. So one of the things that I did want to go ahead and take a look at was going to be, once again, the RTX 3090. We're going to calculate that out, and then we're going to go take a look at the TON mining calculator, which has been interesting. So you have essentially 4.4 gigahash a second on the 3090, and that's pretty much out of the box. $3.60 a day after power. If we take a look once again here on Ethereum, Ethereum's still going to be more profitable than TON. Does that mean that it's going to be more profitable on the 2080 Ti? Not necessarily, because the 2080 Ti is doing 3 gigahash a second, so that's $2.34 a day. If we went back here and snag the 2080 Ti profit on Ethereum, it's going to be $2 and hold on, let me put this user in timeout for you guys. It's going to be $2.17 a day. So you're going to make, 15-20 cents more a day on TON with the RTX 2080 Ti. So there you go. Let's go ahead and look at the RX 6600 XT and calculate this out. Ethereum is going to be at $1.34 a day. After power, it does 1.7 gigahash on TON. So let's go ahead and calculate that out as well. Not at 220 watts. That's going to be at 60 watts. It does a little bit more on the 6600 XT, but that's $1.40 a day. So you are more profitable. I think, like, from what I've been looking at, I have all my 6000 series on TON. They're pretty much all more profitable on TON right now. And then we've gone over basically going out and all that with it. So it is what it is. And we got to get rid of another one. We're just going to fully ban homeboy here. And go from there. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the mining pool profits for the last 90 days. Mining pool hub in first, crazy pool in second, and flex pool in third. Last 60 days, mining pool hub in first, flex pool in second, and crazy pool in third. Last 30 days, crazy pool in first with flex pool in second and mining pool hub in third. Last 21 days, mining pool hub in first with flex pool in second and crazy pool in third. Last 14 days, mining pool hub in first, flex pool in second, and 2 miners in third. Last 7 days, 2 miners in first with flex pool in second and ether mine in third. Last 3 days, ether mine in first with nano pool in second and crazy pool in third. And for the last day, crazy pool in first with ZET in second and flex pool in third. If we take a look at basically mining pool stats, let's go ahead and see if we have any crazy diff things going on, difficulty changes, hash rate changes. Nothing really on the Bitcoin network here. Not like we saw the other day or last week. Let's check out Ravencoin and see what its recovery is at right now. It's still around that 5 terahash. It seems to have started to find its sweet spot for hash and difficulty. Yeah, difficulty's down to 89K. So there is that. And we're good as far as that is rolling. It looks like Ravencoin is starting to settle at least into its groove post halving. Let's take a look at Flux. Now Flux has been still, it's only at 2.47 mega solutions a second, but it doesn't look like its difficulty is adjusted back down. So I think that's really affecting its profitability right now. It should have dropped in difficulty, but doesn't appear to be the case, unfortunately. Cortex, let's go ahead and look at that, because that one's hitting up high on what to mine, and boom, there's the hash rate increase. Everybody's already jumping over to it. Right now, the difficulty spike hasn't translated yet, so that could be an interesting one. And they do have a 2 miner solo on Cortex, which is also very interesting that you may want to take into account. Maybe we go ahead and throw a rig on Cortex solo. What do you guys think? Maybe that's what we do over here at the Son of a Tech Farm. Let's go ahead and look at, was there really anything else? I think that's pretty much all the big boys. We could look at Conflux, and then we could look at Ergo. Conflux, no real changes. I doubt that there's any real changes on Ergo. Ergo is pretty steady. So that's pretty much going to cover it. ASIC miners are being taken over by this BTC V2 on the profitability charts, making it nearly impossible, if not completely impossible, to actually get any sort of information off of MinerStat right now, because it basically thinks that every single SHA-256 miner is the most profitable thing in the world. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird. So what do we got other than that, though? KD6, $143. Really, really down on profit. I did notice that the KD5s have dropped about 10K on my little Facebook ASIC miner sell list. They're down to $50,000 from $60,000. I would not buy one personally, because I would assume that we're going to see this go down even further. Your best bet right now, like if I'm looking at this completely objectively, you got like, your best bet probably is going to be SHA-256 miners, because Bitcoin mining is not going to go anywhere for 100 and something years, 120 years. So that's probably your best bet, because regardless, you'll be able to ROI it eventually. That being said, ASIC miners for SHA-256 for Bitcoin are going to be experiencing pretty hefty competition by at least 2 other companies now. Of course, Intel and Block by Jack Dorsey. So we really have no idea how much hash per watt they're going to be pushing out on those units. It can make purchasing ASICs a little bit more sketchy, because even if you get the newest, most powerful thing out, the Antminer S19 XP at 140 terahash with 3000 watts, who's to say that's not going to be absolutely smashed by one of these other companies, and you end up with something that's, you know, significantly slowed down within its ROI. I think for Bitcoin mining ASICs, though, definitely purchase the newest one you can afford and then go from there. If you want to take long shots, you know, the KD6 is fine. If you want to take a little bit of a slower shot with something that has lasted 2 cycles at this point, and probably will continue to last even though it's a meme coin, is going to be, of course, your Litecoin miners. So your L3 pluses, your L7s, that sort of thing. And then merge mine Dogecoin for the profitability. I don't see or foresee necessarily like those two going anywhere. It's a possibility that Dogecoin does change its algorithm. It depends on how much full of crap Elon really is as far as working with developers on making it more efficient, etc. I would assume that to make it more efficient, you would essentially need to change the algorithm as part of that. But that could just be me. I don't know. Have prices come down on mining equipment? That's the other question I've been having. Red Panda Mining in the chat. Make sure you guys go follow Red Panda Mining, because that would be super awesome. Real quick, Michael Tech, thank you for the $30. He says, well, love what you do, man. Keep with it. We'll get through it. Only thing I can say is don't borrow against mining profits in the near future. Stay solid, conservative economics. Yeah, for sure. Another note about that, guys. Stay out of leverage. Just stay out of leverage. There seems to be, I've never been pro leverage, but whenever I get like a sob story of like somebody that got into PrimeXBT or something through the videos, is they went and they did the leverage trading instead of something else and put too much money into it. I know that there are other leveraged platforms, a lot of them. I just want to make it clear that like that is the quickest way to gamble all your money away. You might as well go to Vegas. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Maintain mining discipline, boys. Maintain the mining discipline. Obviously, with that solo block, like I was tweeting and talking about, it is super tempting to go solo on ETH, but I will maintain the miner discipline. That's what I will do. Let's take a look at BTC Miners, though. Unfortunately, I am not seeing a reduction in the price of ASICs to the point to where I'm comfortable with them yet. You have like pretty much the same pricing. An S19 Pro is going to run you $11,000. The Avalon miner has been really popular at 7,300 with the 85 terahash a second. You have ETH and ETC miners, which you want to be super careful with. I know that Voscoin did a review on the Jasmine. 450 megahash a second or 520 megahash a second for 11K. I don't know. If I recall, the power's really good. So that's good. They're expensive though. What are you going to mine after Ethereum, right? We don't know. I guess you would be mining Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, right? It even notes here though, mine ETH till June 2022. We still don't really have necessarily a full confirmation on that. Unfortunately, Litecoin miners have not gone down in price. Antminer L3 Plus, they're still asking $15.99. Most of the places I'm looking at, it's still over $1,000 to buy an L3 Plus used. I wouldn't do it. I assume those go down to like sub $300 during a bear market. L7's at $26,000. And then that's pretty much where we're at as far as all of those go. It does look like here, so the KD6 has gone down in price. $48,000. 48,000 is what it says over here from 48,000. Let's see. So the April batch is 61,000 and the June batch is 48,000. So really don't buy an April batch. And then if you're going to buy a June batch, obviously wait, because the reason this is happening is because people are becoming more and more realistic, but they're still trying to milk out what they can at this time. So there you go. Let's get into questions and comments. Tag at Son of a Tech for questions. And then I'll respond here. Red Panda said, don't solo Conflux, damn it. Shh. In Cortex, yeah. I do what I want. I'm going to solo it, and I'm going to make the one video that'll do really well, and then all the regulars will know what we're really doing over here. And then we're going to go from there. This is how it works. The noon shows do really, really well. Do I need to shift the streams to noon? Seems like you guys can watch easier at noon. That being said, that's when I do jujitsu. Okay? That's when I do jujitsu. Paul Doherty. Doherty. Oh! I even had a friend with the same last name, and I can't do it. Have you gotten a chance to look at Alphium? Coin that Serpent did a video on. Oh, I didn't watch his video. I retweeted his video though, if that's fair. No, I haven't gotten into it yet though. Let's go. Oh, Chunky says, all the YouTube streamers have been getting Octo Miners. Did you get yours? I got an Octo Miner 12 that we talked about a while ago. And then pushing products nobody can buy. Here's where your misconception is, but I'll say this. Maybe it wasn't clearly stated, and I think as a community as a whole, as cryptocurrency mining YouTubers, we could state this a lot better. Those are only purchasable through bulk through Octo Miner. They're super cool. They give them to us because they know that large farms do watch our channels and they may want to make bulk purchases. So that is how we get singles in our farms, but you can't really necessarily purchase singles. Is that fair enough? I don't have any control over that, and I think that when we do builds, I think Red Panda, everybody that's gotten one, we could do a better job at basically making it very clear on what the target market is. The target market for the Octo Miner is not home miners, unfortunately. That's just not the case, okay? So it is what it is. Let's see. What do we got for questions? Detroit Iris says, that son of a tech, can we just get a regular time so I don't have to rely on YouTube notifications? I'm there at 9:45 almost every day. Sometimes 10 though. But it's never more than like 15 minutes late. And yesterday I did tweet. So follow me on Twitter. Adam says, you look tired. No, I feel pretty good today. I just got done riding though. So I took the chance to ride. So I just got back. Aaron Walker says, son of a tech, Jiu-Jitsu strum needed. Stream? Too many moving parts to that. Like getting disclaimers and signatures. Working with a lawyer to make sure I don't get sued. I don't know. That sounds stressful. Charles says, what do you think the hash rate of the new desktop RTX 3050 will be? I think we had talked about this not too long ago. What are the stats again? RTX 3050 specifications. View full specs. 128-bit bus. Where's the total bandwidth? Where's the total memory bandwidth? 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 with 128-bit bus. 27 mega hash a second. That's what I'm going to say. 27 mega hash a second. Don't support rats. Thanks for the vids. You're off to work. Have a good day at work, rats. As far as the Octo Miner, I haven't talked to them in a bit about when I'm going to get another one. I've only ever got one from them. It was very weird. They didn't email me or anything. So, it is what it is. It just showed up at the P.O. box. No lie. Oh. Billy says, at son of a tech, can you show us how to build a transaction into a block on ETH or another coin? What do you mean? Lazarus says, at son of a tech, do you think there will ever be a GPU that's special for mining like a multi-algo ASIC, like one that's successful instead of all those ones NVIDIA tried and failed with? Yeah, I mean, I think that goes the route of FPGA, bro. Mano Miner says, at son of a tech, did you manage to get an RX 6500 XT? No, I did not, unfortunately. ERT Ted said, at son of a tech, have you seen all the VODs destroying the RX 6500 today? It's getting roasted. Yes, I did see it. I don't know what it's going to do for mining, though. Nicholas Kane said, at son of a tech, I know it's not cost effective, but could those ETH ASICs move over to the likes of Expanse or other coins that use the ETH network? Not sure if it works or not. Possibly could. Well, we've talked about the other ET hash coins, yes. So from the perspective of GPU miners, you need to keep in mind that all Ethereum coins are dead. All ET hash coins are dead post 2.0 or post merge for us, because all the ASICs are going to go over to them. So they're all dead. If you want to talk about what Ethereum Classic needs to do to be successful, they need to kick ASICs off their network now. Preemptively. Done. Over. Actually, all ET hash coins need to do that now. But I think they're planning on those ASICs coming over to secure the network. Raymond says, at son of a tech, will you also start with BTC ASICs and stop mining with GPUs like I almost said BitBoy. Bits be tripping. Bits is still leveraged into GPU mining as well. He's split pretty evenly, if not more, still leaning towards GPUs. Will I be dabbling in Bitcoin ASICs? Probably. Yes. Rud Put says, "That son of a tech, pineapple on pizza?" No. Billy says, "That son of a tech, how to build a transaction and then put it into the block and submit to the blockchain?" I don't know what you want me to do there. No, I don't do any of the botting trading stuff. You mean like MEV? Steve Ford says, "Ask Son of a Tech, my vote is to keep current time slot. Most folks are used to it and make the effort to watch. And if they miss it, they can watch an online version yet later." Yeah, I'm going to keep the current time slot primarily because I want to go to Jiu-Jitsu. I don't like missing Jiu-Jitsu. And I'm not going to go to the 6:45 class. It's too late. It's too late. We got about 6 minutes left in the stream. Have you guys all followed Red Panda Mining? I'm sure you guys have, but I'll go ahead and make sure we get the link out there for them. Red Panda Mining is killing it. 200,000 subs. 1 million views in the last 30 days. There's his channel. Congratulations to the 200K, by the way, while you're here. All right. Lante says, "That son of a tech, when do you think ETH mining will end?" June 2022. Detroit Irish says, "That son of a tech, every time you talk about jiu-jitsu, I get a mental image of you training with Master Ken." I don't know who Master Ken is, but I always think of a Ken doll now. Power Trip says, "Ask Son of a Tech, do you have a Red Panda bathwater?" I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Matt says, "Ask Son of a Tech, any thoughts on Arduinos?" No, I don't have any right now. Sorry. No thoughts. Potentially Athletic says, "Ask Son of a Tech, do you have a video on securing your crypto for those of us that are newish to the space? I got GPU fever from you and Red Panda and can't stop adding GPUs to the farm." I've done quite a few different videos. I probably want to redo a Trezor video that I want to work on for the hardware wallets. Every how to mine video discusses the securing of the wallets and like the best methods. But essentially you just have, I mean, it's very basic. You have like 3 types of wallets. You have hot, you have cold, and then what I kind of call warm. Hardware wallets are what I would call warm. But essentially the idea is a hot is connected to the internet all the time. A cold has never ever touched the internet. It was basically usually generated by a wallet generator while disconnected from the internet, written down, and only the public address is exposed. And then of course you have your warm wallet, which would be something like a hardware wallet, like a Trezor, that requires it to be physically plugged into a computer. And then you move the assets and then you unplug it and it's not attached to the internet while it's unplugged. The big note about that is basically keeping the keys off of the internet as much as possible or disconnected from the internet. And keeping the wallet disconnected can also be beneficial because even if you keep your key disconnected, like let's say for something like MetaMask, if somebody got remote access to your PC, and basically were able to brute force your password for your little MetaMask plugin, well, they don't need the keys. They can export the keys from there or just poof, shoot it out directly while they're in there. So there's all of that going on. There's all of that going on. The Rookie Cookie says, "What is a good ASIC cost per dollar under 6K for Bitcoin?" Well, we can go look at what's available, I suppose. I mean, that's all you can really do, right? So if we look at Bitcoin miners, there's really nothing under 6K, I guess, other than the What's miner. Let's see. And it's on sale right now. That's going to be 56 terahash a second at... what is that? I think they got that mixed up. About 3,000 watts or something like that. Then if we took a look over here and looked for the M21, The micro BT Watts miner M21, $15 a day is really what you're looking at on NL pool for SHA 256. This BTCV I don't trust right now. So if we go to CoinMarketCap and we did BTCSV, is that right? BTCV. I think it's this one. Yeah. It's this one. Where is the... So they're listed on Bittrex, which isn't terrible, actually. I thought they weren't listed on there yet. So you got, what? Bittrex, Bit Global, ProBit, XT. What is the price on there? $5.50 a pop. So I mean, I don't trust this to last, but I guess that really wouldn't make much sense though. $194 a day. But that would be the one you could order right now. Use the affiliate link if you do. That's always helpful. They're a sponsor of the channel. Little Shane says, add Son of a Tech mining flux on 3000 series cards makes them really hot. Am I doing something wrong? I mostly have EVGA cards. It makes them really hot because it's utilizing the core and the memory. So as opposed to a lot of other algorithms which use pretty much the memory only, basically you're just to have a lot more heat output going into that whole process. The coolest running algorithm is TON, which is kind of funny, but we got to wrap it up today, boys. I got another appointment at 1, so I got to get ready for that. And then we have, Mama got sick yesterday or wasn't feeling good, so I took my son out and did a whole bunch of stuff. So I have all the data for the X060 ready to go. It's just not up. It's not edited right now. So I'm going to try to edit that. I'm hoping today. I'd like to get that video out tonight. We've also been trying to test the helium miner, but hold on, let me look. Still 0 helium.